You're watching a recap from Investor XP, the show that covers investing for gamers. Check out the video description for details. It is Thursday, June the 1st, and we've got a great show for you today. We're answering a viewer question about a potential stock market crash. Got new Sin City items in development. We're going to be looking at Under Armour and a new book coming out from Tolkien. So all of that we're going to be going over live, and each of those is going to be a video posted up on YouTube today. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. The story of BEREN and LUTHIEN has been in the works for about 100 years. Tolkien died a long time ago, and people are very familiar with his works. Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, things like that. And today he's not him. His sons are releasing the final book that they're going to be producing. I should say it's his story of BEREN and LUTHIEN as its own book. This showed up in some of his other works as a smaller story. Very good story, great story as a matter of fact. A lot of action twists and things like that. I won't ruin it for you, but it's got Sauron in it, torturing some folks, and vampires and werewolves, and the original Dark Lord is in there. People losing limbs, things like that. Everything you need in a fantasy novel, it's going to be there. So let's take a look at the article real quick. I'll post a link to this in the description below of the video for anyone that's interested in this book. But here it is, publishing it after 100 years, BEREN and LUTHIEN. And this is, Christopher Tolkien said this is going to be the last one of these. He's been publishing some of his father's older works. And this is it, he claims. So
what she's listening to right now.
That's interesting to me that they're going to stop doing that. But I'm sure we don't want to see this ad. So I'm sure a lot of the fans are going to be disappointed that more of his work isn't going to get unearthed anytime soon. We could only hope that they let Peter Jackson or someone, they need to give them the rights to these, because The Hobbit, great movie. I think it was too little material spread over too many movies and not enough upfront prep from Peter Jackson to it. But I digress. How do we make an investment in this? This is some of the best material of all time out there. So how do you invest in it, especially as video game, as someone who invests in video games and the publishers and the stuff. So how do we play this one? Well, let's look at who is making the Lord of the Rings, Middle-earth type of games. Look at Monolith. They make Shadows of War, and they made Shadow of Mordor. Not to be confused with the Japanese game developer that makes Xenoblade Chronicles. Different companies, but if you look at Monolith and their history of games that they have, some alright games are in there. You can see they had their hits. Was basically the Shadow of Mordor. It was really the one that took off. Absolutely a fantastic game. And the sequel is going to be coming out. The sequel's actually been delayed a little bit, but that's who you want to make an investment in. So how do you do that? You got to look at who owns them and their parent company, which is Time Warner. Okay, which they got a hit on their hands with Wonder Woman, it sounds like. So let's take a look at their investor relations. Time Warner, but I don't think you want to buy up Time Warner stock, because they're going to get bought by AT&T. And AT&T is a stock that we own, and we like them because of what they're doing to aggressively get someone like Time Warner, so that they have the HBO, all the stuff that comes with that. And so you don't want to buy Time Warner, and we think you want to go with AT&T. it's been stalled the purchase because there was some thoughts that maybe it would get blocked, but Time Warner does not think that the Trump administration is going to block it and that it's going to go through. And they really want to compete, interestingly enough, with Google and Facebook. So they are looking at AT&T, as more of a tech company, and they are bringing some great properties over with AT&T buying them, and they are going to make a run as a very large company to compete with them. So it's a little surprising to say that that's who they think their competitors are. I think it's great for AT&T, this acquisition that they would be making. Really bullish on AT&T stock, especially if that goes through. And certainly it's little properties like this that they have, with the Shadow of Mordor and the sequel coming out. I think they're going to be great sellers. I think the route to play it is going with AT&T, betting that they're going to scoop up Time Warner, and hopefully they don't have a lot of MMO games going on there, but it'd be very interesting to see if AT&T does with video games like they're doing with DirecTV, where DirecTV you can stream without it going against your data plan, with some of the bundles and things that they're doing. So I'd be curious to see if they did that with gaming. If you're streaming or you're playing online with your video games, if it's a game that's published by AT&T at the time, if they make it, if they could make it so that that doesn't go against your data, that would be very interesting and potentially anti-competitive. Either case, we like what AT&T is doing. We own them. We're going to buy up some more of them in the near future. They pay a great dividend. If you want to play the Middle-earth gaming play through Monolith, we think the way is going to be through AT&T. So let me know what you think in the comments below. AT&T as an investment, Tolkien as a writer, or the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games. Little bummed it's delayed, but we'll get it eventually. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And that is it for today's show. Apology to the people that are watching live. It looks like we had some streaming issues. We'll work on them and what we got going on. You can contact the show, shoot us an email, chat with us live. Info is on the screen behind me. Appreciate you watching the show. Subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate the subscriptions we've been getting lately. We really want to build a community here of new investors, gamers, people who want to get into investing, invest in something that they love, like video games. So subscribe so you get the latest gaming news for investors. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave us feedback. Give us some stock tips that you want to check out. Any of that in the discussions. Open discussion on the YouTube channel. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching once again.